Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So many of you requested this video in my last two videos. So here it is. It is all about my glowy, glassy skin makeup routine. Obviously, if you want to have really glowing, healthy looking skin, it is not all about the makeup. The biggest part is about skincare. If your skin is not well looked after, or if it's not prepared for the makeup you're gonna put on top of it, it's not gonna look great. I will do a video especially about my daily skincare routine, but this video is all about the makeup. Let's get started. Let's start with the primer. I have the Hollywood Flawless Filter Primer from Charlotte Tilbury. And because it's all about this really glowy, dewy, nearly wet looking skin, we want to start off with a primer which is also really glowy and dewy. What you really want to avoid is using a mattifying primer because that would really not serve the purpose. I'm just applying this primer with my fingers because that is really the easiest way to melt the primer right into the skin. So as you can see, my skin already has a really lovely glow to it. Now that's not enough for coverage for me, especially now I have some pimples here which I have to cover up. So I have to go in with my foundation. You can use really every foundation you like. So the trick is to mix it with a glowy product. My glowy product is a highlighter. It's from Becca, the Shimmering Skin Perfector, and the shade is in Pearl. If I'm not mistaken, this shade is the lightest shade you can get. It's really kind of a white. I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to take quite a bit of this. I'm going to use a stick foundation today. This one is from Hourglass. So I'm going to put this product directly on my face and then put some of this Skin Perfector also on my face and then mix it together on my face with my sponge, which I made a bit wet and then squeezed it so that all the water can come out, but it's wet so that it doesn't take in too much product. Like in my last video, I'm going to use the Hourglass stick foundation, which I'm going to put straight onto my face. If you have a liquid foundation, I would recommend to you that you put it on the back of your hand and then mix in the Shimmering Skin Perfector or whatever else glowy product you're going to use onto your hand as well, and just mix it on your hand and put it combined on your face. So now that I have a stick foundation, that's not possible, so I put the stick foundation directly on my face. Now I'm going to take this Shimmering Skin Perfector onto my sponge, and with that on the sponge I'm going to work in the foundation. What I find is that you want to make sure that you don't use a shimmering product which is too dark. I just find if you use a glow product which is darker than your natural skin color, you look also very good, but more summery, bronzy, glowy. But if you use a shimmering product which is lighter than your natural skin color, your skin tends to look very glowy and glassy and wet rather than tanned. So as you can see, my skin is already looking super glowy and glossy. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and conceal under my eyes, and also I'm going to try to cover up all my pimples in this area. And what you want to do is not to use too much product, because otherwise all the glossiness and glowiness will obviously disappear. So I'm going to just use that just under the eye along my nose because I have a lot of redness there. And then I'm going to give a tiny little bit where I want to cover up. And you don't want to go overboard with this. You just really want to hit exactly the spot you want to cover up. I'm just going to let this part set for a while so that it can dry a little bit. I'm also using my beauty sponge with this, and I really try to only cover up the areas which really need the coverage. Now that the concealer on my cheek area had a chance to set a little bit, I'm going to go in and just lightly tap so that the edges blend, but the coverage completely stays where I put it. Now comes the hardest part, and that is finding a powder which doesn't take away too much of your beautiful shine you just put on your face. If you don't want to powder, that is completely up to you, but for me, I want to apply a little bit of bronzer as well, and I find with all these glowy and very wet products, it is a little bit hard to apply the bronzer without it becoming very patchy, so I like to powder a little bit. For me, the powder of choice is the Ambient Lighting Powder from Hourglass in the color Diffused Light. It is a super finely matte powder with a little bit of shimmer as well, so this one will not make you completely matte. I'm taking a really big fluffy brush. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna powder really lightly, but not too much. Now it's time for the bronzer, and I really enjoy very neutral bronzers to this look, so it's not too red and not too ashy. I'm using here the bronzer from Benefit, the Hoola bronzer. I can't really show it to you because it's completely shuttered, and if I'm gonna turn it, look, all the product is down here. So if I'm turning it too much, then everything will fall out. But because it's in this box, it really isn't a problem. I'm just gonna keep it in the box, go like this, and then swirl the brush in the lead to get rid of all the excess. So I'm gonna bronze really lightly. So as you can see, I didn't use a lot of bronzer. I just wanted to warm up the face a tiny little bit, but I didn't want to take away all the shine and just bury it under tons and tons of powder. You can see the glow is still there, but it's not enough for us. Before I take the last step, which is another highlighter, I'm gonna quickly use a little bit of a blush. Also with a blush, you really want to avoid matte blushes. So I'm gonna use the one out of my Hourglass palette here, this one, which is called Mood Flush. Again, really lightly tap this on the apples of my cheek. And then I'm working this in with my beauty blender again, just to avoid that it looks too powdery. Okay, we nearly did it. The last step for the skin is another highlighter. You can just choose whatever highlighter you want. I have two favorites for this last finishing step, and you really want to avoid very glittery highlighters. It's all about the wet looking highlights. I have two personal favorites for you. The one is a RMS Beauty highlighter in the shade Living Luminizer. It's just this little pot here. It's really beautiful and great for traveling because it's so small. This is also a very light shade. It's nearly white, but I mean it doesn't show off as white. It's just a very icy, wet looking, nearly see-through looking highlighter. The other option is again the Becca highlighter. There's Shimmering Skin Perfector here. I still have some left on my hand, and that's why I'm gonna use this one today. Again, I'm gonna use my little beauty sponge, and I'm gonna very lightly highlight my face with that even more. I'm putting this on the high points of my cheeks, under the brow bone. I really like to put it on my chin for some reason, and down the bridge of my nose, but I really don't like this highlight on the tip of my nose, so I'm just gonna put it right in between my eyes here. If this is too much for you of a glow, you can absolutely stop after you powdered and don't do the extra layer of additional highlighter. I just really love how my skin looks right now. It looks like super hydrated and glossy and glowy. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna finish off my makeup. I'm gonna do a little bit of an eye makeup and my lips, and I'm gonna be right back. And I'm back. I did my eye makeup really simple, just a little bit of eyeshadow in the crease, little bit of liner and some mascara. I didn't do my lips yet because I really quickly wanted to show you something. In my last video about the Eldridge lipsticks, I told you that I'm gonna experiment a little bit with the lipsticks, how to wear them, and I found that especially the color Velvet Ribbon of these beautiful red lipsticks is super nice if you really lightly dab it on the lips and just blend it in with your finger instead of wearing it like super bold. What I did so far is I cleaned my lips a little bit so that the foundation is not on top of it. Then I put some Nivea cream on, And now I'm just really lightly gonna dab it on. And then I just use my finger to dab. As you can see, it gives a really beautiful tint of color. It's red rosy blush color. I really enjoy wearing it like that. So that is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like it. Please don't be afraid of too much glow. And it really doesn't matter what products you use for foundation or for the glow. I just showed you what I have here, but you don't have to use exactly the same products. There's only two things which are really important for this look. One is that you don't use products which are too glittery. It's really all about the glow and not the glitter. And the second thing is that you don't overpowder the look. And I'm talking not only about the powder, I also talk about the bronzer or the blush. Of course, you could also use some cream bronzer and blush, but I don't really have so much of those, not the colors I'm enjoying at the moment. So I just decided to go for the powder version, but just keep it very light. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do that. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to get a little note as soon as I upload a new video, then you can go and click on the bell button and then you get notified as soon as I upload a new video. I wish you all a great day and I will see you in the next video. Bye!